to favorfirm.com. Joe Cortez here with Dr. Charlie Bernick from the Ruvo Cleveland Clinic Brain Institute.
Yes.
Dr. Bernick, now you know that boxing is a sport that has been one of the most difficult sports that's out there because of the blows that fighters take to the head. And you've been doing your studies at the Cleveland Clinic in reference to after effects of the fighters. Some of the fighters that are active, I believe, and some that have been retired, right?
Yep. Now,
can you tell us a little bit about, without mentioning any names of fighters that are going there, but what kind of results are you seeing? What is your evaluation up to date with the study, and how many years have you been doing this practice?
Well, Joe, we're now entering our third year of the study. So the idea is to follow fighters, active fighters, retired fighters, on a yearly basis. So once a year they come in and get a really full evaluation. A lot of our interest is in being able to detect injury to the brain before somebody becomes symptomatic, before they really develop these problems with slurred speech and Parkinson's and memory problems and behavior problems. And what we found so far, looking at the first year of the data, is probably not too surprising. That is that the more fights a person has had, professional fights, the worse they do. The worse their imaging is. They have more damage to the fibers in the brain. This is just in general, not any one individual, but just as a group. They have more injury to the fibers of the brain, and actually we can see shrinkage in different areas of the brain in those who have fought more. What we're trying to do now is really look at kind of at an individual level, how can we predict who's going to really have the most problem down the line.
Okay, now you say injuries that fighters, when you see the images, you talking about fighters that are active or fighters who have been retired?
Both. Actually, even in active fighters, you can, the more they fought, you can actually detect, again, this is in general, damage occurring to the brain. We can see that. What we're really trying to find is, are any of these findings on the MRI scan predictive? Can we looking at somebody's scan, can we predict if they're going to have problems down the line? And it's too early to tell that now, but that's the hope of the study.
Now, do you see? I know you have the latest technology that's out there today with the newest equipment at the Cleveland Clinic here in Las Vegas. Now, what kind of equipment are we using today that you were using maybe 3 years ago when you first started?
Well, I think the changes are how we can analyze the information, because there's new techniques to track fibers throughout the brain. We can very precisely look at sizes of different areas of the brain. We can look at blood flow. So we're just getting much more sophisticated in being able to analyze very minute changes in the brain structure.
Now, fighters that, as you well know, and the fans out there that are watching know that fighters go to a battery of different training regimens. When they're training, there's a lot of sparring that occurs in the ring prior to a fight. Let's say it's a regular 10-round fight. These fighters are perhaps sparring maybe 100 rounds to prepare for that 10-round fight. And in the gyms, that's where a lot of fighters seem to take a lot of punishment as well, because they have the headgear on and the gloves, 16-ounce gloves. They seem to have they feel more of a safety equipment on them, so they can maybe have a tendency of dropping their guards a little bit more because the headgear is going to protect them a little bit, but they're taking that blow to the head, which is damaging the brain. Is like a rose on the stem, right? And the brain is back and forth, and that's where you can have some tear in the veins inside your, what do you call it? What in your terms of medical? How would you say?
Yeah, no, you could tear blood vessels. You could stretch fibers. So no, you're absolutely right. It's the motion of the head, the torque, the twisting of the head that really causes the problem. So even with headgear, you're not immune. And we believe the same as you, that probably a lot of the damage is not in the 4 or 6 or 8 round fight, but it's that training that people undergo to get to that point.
Yeah, and one of the things we try to do as referees, we try to educate our referees of stopping a fight, maybe a punch too soon and a punch too late. We don't want to see fighters take unnecessary punishment. And one thing I hate to see, well, I went to a gym most recently out of state in New York, and I was watching the sparring session going on. It was a war going on in that ring. And I told the guy, why are you fighting so hard like that? I mean, this is like a war. He said, this is light stuff. That the guy got dropped. And he's going to fight. When is he fighting? So he's got a fight coming up soon. He got a fight coming up soon. So he gets dropped in the gym. Now, you know, when you get dropped, it's what? It's concussion, right?
Absolutely.
Not only with the blow that he received, but the way he hit on the canvas. And I said, you see, this is uncalled for.
Well, the other thing about that, Joe, is it's really well known that if you've had a concussion, you are much more sensitive. You then become more sensitive to another one. So if you're having these episodes or days stunned in training, that makes you actually more susceptible when you go in the ring. So it's actually a disadvantage for these guys.
Okay. Now, what period of a time you said a concussion? Now, let's say a guy gets dropped in the first round. Okay, he gets up, he weathers the storm, but he gets dropped again in the third round. Okay. Now, he gets dropped again in the seventh round. I mean, what's going on there?
Well, it's, again, all we know just in general that once you have a concussion, it makes you are more susceptible to have a second one or a third one. And of course, the more damage that you accrue, the thought is, of course, the worse it is for the brain. That is, in the long term, that you're just getting more concussions, more significant damage, and then that's probably what leads to this chronic traumatic encephalopathy, this condition that affects football players, boxers, anybody really exposed to repetitive head trauma.
Okay, now these fighters that you see walking around today, when they have these fights, the fight is over that particular night, they got knocked out that night, they seem okay at ringside, the evaluation that's given to them, and of course, you know, here in Nevada, you get knocked out, it's mandatory, and I think in most states now, you have to go to your local emergency room to get a CAT scan done to make sure you're okay after the knockout. But they show us nothing. They say, okay, you can go home. But what effects does that have and what period of time? Let's say he didn't fight anymore. Will there be some changes in him as he gets older?
Could be. Again, and we don't know that. And we just are really trying to learn, even from a study like ours, some of those questions. Yeah, what happens even if you stop fighting? Or is there a point that even if you stop fighting, that you've reached no return? That is, that you're going to go on. But hopefully we'll get to the point that we can recognize that before it happens and not let somebody continue on to a point where they're really causing damage that's going to be a progressive process throughout their life. That's happened too much in the past.
Yeah, one of the things that we want to see is we want to see fighters come back another day. It's rather, you know, we're going to keep them healthy. We want referees to understand that if you're refereeing a fight, you don't want to let these fighters take too much if you know that they're definitely outclassed. And most referees out there watching, and some of you trainers that are watching as well, you know your fighter better than we do as referees. And you know, we respect you more if you say, you know what, I'll stop in this fight because I want my fighter to come back another day. Don't let him get destroyed. You know he's outclassed. You know, come on. You got to stop it while you can. Safety comes first.
Absolutely, and again, it's in the long run, it's better for everyone because if that fighter you just let him in, he accumulates damage. His skills are going to decline. I mean, then you're going to have nothing. At least if you can protect him, right? You can. At least there's a hope in the future that you can carry on.
Hey, Dr. Bernick, if someone out there watching wants to contact your office for any further information, where can they reach you?
Well, just our phone number. It's 702-483-6000. Or at our website, it's just at brainhealth.ccf.org. We're always interested in people who want to participate in the study, that is active or retired fighters, or frankly, if there's somebody just wanted information, we'd be happy to provide it to them.
Okay, what's that website again?
It's brainhealth.ccf.org.
Okay, you can also look up at the Cleveland Clinic in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Exactly.
On the search engine on your computer, and you can find more information about the Cleveland Clinic here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Dr. Bernick, thank you so much.
Joe, it's been a pleasure.
For the
information.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Guys, we'll see you next week.